Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Matt. I am your host, Matt Taylor. Today, I'm going to show you how to make strawberry jam. Yummy. I love strawberry jam. Strawberry flavored jellies or jams is my favorite of all time. For those of you who follow my show, you know that I love strawberries. This jam is really easy to do. Only uses 3 everyday ingredients. We aren't using anything like pectin, which is common in jellies and jams. And it's just super incredibly easy. If I can do it, you can do it. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of my new videos. Let's get started. Down below in the description box, you'll find a list of the ingredients and their amounts. First, we want to start with our strawberries. I washed them, and I have 2 pounds of strawberries here, which in the States is just 2 of the containers. Each container is about 450 grams, so 900 grams in total. And then we're going to just take off the tops, or you can just scoop out the tops if you want. I usually just cut them like that. And then you can cut them up. Really small if you want, like that. Or you can just leave them as slices. Cut them out, cut them however you want. You can run them through a food processor too if you want. Another thing I will do is I'll take my mushroom slicer and I'll just put it in there. And it makes the slices really quick and easy like that. Once we have all of our strawberries cut and in a bowl, now you don't have to use an extra bowl. I'm just using this for the video. Normally I'll just put everything in my Dutch oven pot, but let's move on. So we need a medium-sized lemon, and we need half of it, the juice of half of a lemon. And I'm just using my handy little juicer here, citrus juicer. This will add a little bit of little bit of lemon flavor, but also the lemon will add a natural pectin to the strawberries. And the strawberries themselves already have a little bit of pectin in it. Generally, pectin is added to help the jam or jelly become more like a gel, to become more thick. All right, and then we're going to add 2 cups of white granulated sugar. Kind of the rule of thumb is for every pound of berries, use 1 cup of sugar. And then with a spoon, let's stir this all together. And now after we stir it all together, we want to just let this sit right here for about 20 or 30 minutes. And the sugar is going to pull out liquid and juices, moisture from the strawberries. All right, they've been sitting for about 20-25 minutes. And look at that juice that's come out. Pretty awesome. Now I want to transfer this over to my Dutch oven. Of course, you could have done everything. I could have just put all these in the Dutch oven to begin with, but it just looks a little better on camera. So just transfer this over and get out all that. Make sure the sugar comes out of there too. The longer you let it sit, the more of that sugar will dissolve. One thing I want to mention is you do want to make this in a fairly high walled pot, because when it bubbles, it'll come up and you don't want it to bubble over. And this also has a heavy bottom. When people mention a heavy bottom pot, the heavy bottom helps to distribute the heat evenly to prevent things from burning, and we don't want this jam to burn. Let's head over to the stovetop now. All right, here we are over at the stovetop. I have the heat set to medium, and this is where the tedious part is going to come in. We are going to just heat and cook these berries down, and eventually after 25-30 minutes it's going to be really nice and thick and turn into our jam. Pretty cool, right? After it starts to heat up, we're going to want to continuously stir. When it's first starting to heat up, you don't really need to worry about that too much. So we are going to stir and stir and stir and bring this up to a boil. You don't have to use a candy thermometer, but if you want to, we want to bring this up to around 220 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not absolutely necessary to use a thermometer for this, but some people like to use it. So all I'm saying is if you don't have one, you can do it without one. If you are a young child, make sure to have adult supervision. Your mom or dad help you if you want to make this jam, because this jam gets really, really hot. All right? After about halfway into it, I did turn up my heat to medium-high. Just helps it to go faster. You'll also notice how dark it's starting to turn. When we first started, the liquid was really light in color, and now it's starting to get more and more dark. Getting closer, getting really close. All right, so we're right at 220 degrees Fahrenheit. Our jam is nice and dark. There's a couple different ways. Let's say we didn't have this thermometer and you didn't want to use the thermometer, you don't have one. How else can you tell? Well, if you look at the bubbles, it's like coming up almost like pudding, if you've made pudding, that kind of consistency. Or like bubbling oil, if you ever watched like the tar pits. Or you could take your back of your spoon and look how it just sticks to the back and just barely drips off. Those are a couple ways to tell. Another way to tell is you'll take a little bit of it and put it on a freezing cold bowl or plate. It's really, really cold, right? And then run like your spoon through it. Or use your finger. It should be cold already, yeah. And see how that doesn't come back together? That's ready to go. Now let's take it off the heat. We'll continue to stir while it's off the heat, just while it cools down a little bit. And if I come over to this plate, I don't know if you can see it, it's still like, look at that, oh, nice and jelly it is, see that? Give it a taste. Oh, that's good. So that whole process, from the moment I put the pot on the heat until I took it off, was right around about 40 minutes. So it does take a little bit of time. It may go faster or slower for you, just depends. All right, that is looking awesome. Then what you do is you want to fill up your mason jars. Now what I did is I ran hot water in this, really hot water, because you want it to be warm along with your warm jam. You could let this cool down even more, but the more it cools, the harder it's going to be to scoop into your jars. And then you can get like a special funnel. They have a mason jar funnel. You can get that or just scoop it in with a ladle or spoon. Just be careful. Now, one thing I want to note is we're not canning this specifically. We're not going to do the hot water sterile bath, which would be traditionally for long-term storage. This is going to be short-term use in the refrigerator or freezer, sometimes referred to as freezer jam. And then we're going to leave just a little bit at the top just to allow it to expand a little bit as it cools. And then put our jar. Also make sure that these are clean. Put the lid on. Altogether wind up with just shy of a quart of jam. So just shy of 2 pints or 4 cups worth. So you're going to store these in the refrigerator. These do not get stored in the pantry. This style of easy jam needs to be stored in the refrigerator, or you can freeze it. And then you can put your strawberry jam on whatever you like, biscuits, toast, a variety of other things, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I have some toast here. Look at that. Yeah. Nice, thick. Awesome. All right, the strawberry jam is done. Turned out fantastic. Really, really easy to do. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm Matt Taylor. This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with Matt. Thank you for joining me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or requests, put them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thumbs up, down the corner, push it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Take care. Time for me to dive into this. Oh yeah.